Hey guys, welcome you to the science subject of 8th standard course, and let's start the course with the index of the chapter name. Here there are 18 chapters for this particular course and we need to deal one by one. Let's start with our first chapter, which is crop production and management. Yeah, as you can see, this is the first chapter of our session. Let's start with this chapter. Yeah. Let's begin. Chapter 1, Crop Production and Management. Let's start reading. Paheli and Bojo went to their uncle's house during the summer vacation. Their uncle is a farmer. One day they saw some tools like kurpi, sickle, shovel, plow, etc. in the field. And the next thing is, I want to know where and how these tools are used. These tools are used in the particular field, in agricultural field. For your idea, let me share some of the pictures I have collected for these tools. See, this is the kurpi one, which is used for main agricultural practices, and this is the sickle, plow, and this is one is the shovel. Let's come back to the course. Let's go on reading. You have learned that all living organisms require food. Plants can make their own food. The point in highlighting this line is plants can make their food themselves. That is, which process is that? Do you remember? That process is called photosynthetic process, which is you can recall that the process was taught to you in the previous year, and that's because of the photosynthesis we the human beings as well as many organisms are surviving today. Let's continue the course. Can you recall how green plants synthesize their own food? Can you recall? If yes, please note down them. Animals, including humans, cannot make their own food. So, where do animals get their food from? That's the question. But, first of all, why do we have to eat food? Any guess? Let me recall you, as they taught you in the previous year course, why all of us need food. Yes, your answer is correct. That's to get some energy. Why energy is required? That's dealt in this para. You already know that energy from the food is utilized by organisms in the sense including humans, for carrying out their various body functions such as digestion. Let me underline: digestion, respiration, breathing process. Digestion is the process of digesting food, and excretion for the waste removal from the body. We get our food from plants, that's vegetarian, or animals for non-vegetarian, or for both. Even there are animals, organisms which eat both vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Since we all need food, how can we provide food to large number of people in our country? If you consider the number of population in our country, major countries like India and China depends upon large quantity of food that's to be provided for the whole country, and that's the responsibility of the farmer, and that's why he is called the backbone of the Indian economy or India. Let's come back to the upper part. Food has to be produced on large scale. That's what I told. Food is to be produced in such a way that it is to be fulfilled for the whole country. In order to provide food for the large population, regular production, proper management and distribution is necessary. Let me go through these words. Regular production is to ensure that the production of the food is the production of the food is in continuous manner. That's The thing is, the production of the food should be available in all the seasons of the year. Proper management is to grow the food with effective nutrition. The food which we eat must provide all the nutrition that's required for the body. That's the proper management. And distribution is necessary. Distribution in the sense, if one place of the country grows any crop which is required or which is suitable for that place, and the farmer who are in the place should ensure that that crop should be distributed all over the country, where there is no suitable condition that helps the particular crops to grow, and the people require that crop in order to gain nutrition. So the proper of that the farmer of that particular area needs to ensure that it is distributed all over the India or their respective country. Agricultural practices. Till 10,000 BCE, people were nomadic. They know nothing. They used to move from one place to another. They were wandering in groups from place to place in search of food and shelter. They ate raw fruits which is available from the forests, vegetables, and started hunting animals for food. That's non-vegetarian. Later, they could cultivate land and produce rice. They started, after the year by year, they came to know that we can cultivate the land and produce their own crops. They produce rice, wheat, other food crops. That thus was born agriculture. This gives the birth to agriculture. When plants of same kind are cultivated at one place on a large scale, then it is called a crop. The point here is you have to take a note of large scale, which is important, and this is the definition of crop. And the same kind is also the keyword used in this definition. See, if you want to score good marks, understanding the concept is not only the key. You have to present your paper, or you have to present your answer sheet in such a way that the lecturer or the teacher who is correcting your paper should be impressed by your writing method. You have to take care of the keywords. You should never miss the keywords in your paper. When the plants of the same kind are cultivated at once, same kind is the keyword. At one place is the another major thing to be noted. On a large scale, that's not for individual, it should be distributed for many people. That's called crop. For example, crop of wheat means that all the plants grown in the field that are of wheat. You already know that crops are of different types, like cereals, vegetables, and fruits. This can be classified on the basis of season. The particular season they grow particular crops in which they grow. India is a vast country, very big country. The climatic conditions like temperature, humidity, rainfall vary from one region to another. This is for sure. For basic understanding, let me tell you, the people in Himalaya can't grow what's the people growing on the South India, because that's the too cold region, and the people in South India can't go what's they're going on Himalayan regions. That's what India is so vast. That's make India so diverse. Let's start with next page. Variety of crops grown in different parts of the country. Despite this diversity, two broad cropping patterns are be identified. These are, even including all this diversity, they are classified two cropping patterns, that is Kharif crops and Rabi crops. Kharif crops. The crops which are sown in rainy season are called Kharif crops. Sown in the sense the seeds are sown to the field in rainy season. The rainy season in India is generally from June to September. These are the good questions where the teachers can be asked. You should note these questions where from June to September and the rainy season. These are the keywords for this definition. You should note them. The crops which let's recall again, the crops which are sown in rainy season are called kharif crops. The rainy crops in the rainy season in India are generally from June to September, and paddy, maize, soya bean, groundnut, cotton are kharif crops. See, these are the example. You should remember the example that will be definitely asked in the your board exams or your class exams. Next cropping pattern is rabi crops. The crops grown in winter season. Usually winter season is from October to March in India are called rabi crops. Remember, June to September is kharif, that's for rainy season, and October to March is rabi crops, that is winter season. Examples are wheat, gram, pea, mustard, and linseed. Remember the example. If possible, take a paper and note all the examples in the way that you can understand. That makes your understanding. What I am telling is to make your own notes. That will help you a lot. Besides this, pulses and vegetables are grown during summer at many places. I believe ragi is one of such crop, one of the such pulses which is grown in summer. Basic practices of crop production. See, he asks why paddy cannot be grown in winter season. Why some crops cannot be grown in whichever season the as farmer wish. Here is the answer. Paddy requires a lot of water for its production. Therefore, it's grown only in rainy season. You should remember such things. Cultivation of crop involves several activities undertaken by the farmers over a period of time. Please take down if you have the textbook nearby, please make this underline or highlighted points in your textbooks, which helps you to glance the whole chapter at once. Cultivation of crops involves several activities that are listed below. You may find that these activities are similar to those carried out by a gardener or even by you. If you are a gardener, when you grow ornamental plants in your house, ornamental is some plants for showcasing, for attractive aesthetic purposes. These activities or tasks are referred as agricultural practices. What you grow in garden or what the farmer grow for in large scale, all are considered as agricultural practices, which are listed below. See, these are the listed the activities for complete development of a single crop or large scale crop. First is preparation of soil. Second is sowing the seeds. And the third is adding manure and fertilizers for nutrition of the plant. Fifth is irrigation, that is watering the plants. Fourth is irrigation. Fifth is protecting from weeds. Weeds in the sense which are unwanted plants grown in between the crops. Harvesting, getting our yield. And the last one is storage. Before giving to the consumers, the product in the sense the crops is to be stored in a particular place. That should be taken care. That's why it's also considered as one of the important agricultural practice. The first point is preparation of soil. The preparation of soil is one of the first steps before growing a crop. One of the most important tasks in agriculture is to turn the soil and loosen it. See, many soils are hard. If the soil is hard, that cannot provide a good nutrition or cannot provide a good space for a plant to grow. That's why we should cultivate it and loosen it. This allows the roots to penetrate deep. Loosening the soil allows the roots of the plant. The roots of the plant is the part which is below the soil. So if you loosen the soil, that allows them to penetrate deep into the soil. The loose soil allows the roots to breathe easily. It allows them to breathe easily. Breathe easily is important one we should underline. Even when they go deep into the soil, if the roots go so deep, it's also the loosening of soil enable them to breathe. Why does the loosening of soil allow the roots to breathe easily? Let's see. The loosened soil helps in the growth of the earthworm and microbes. Please take those names, underline them. Let's see this importance of those things, those living organisms in the soil. These organisms are friends of farmer. They are considered as farmer friend, since they further turn and loosen the soil and add humus to it. Please underline humus. Humus is the byproduct or the excretion of earthworms that provides nutrition for the plant growing. But why? The question is, but why the soil needs to be turned and loosened? Let's see the answer. You have learnt in the previous classes that soil contains minerals. Yes. Water. Yes. Air. There are several living organisms in the soil. In addition, dead plants, the plants which is dead also in the soil. Sorry for the disturbance. Let's continue. We were here. You have learnt in the previous classes that soil contains minerals, water, air, and also some living organisms. As mentioned, earthworm and microbes. In addition, dead plants and animals get decomposed by soil organism. Please make sure of decomposition and soil organism. Decomposition is nothing but the soil organism break down the dead components and takes the nutrients from the dead plants or animals for themselves. That soil organisms, let's continue. In this way, various nutrients in the dead organisms are released back to the soil, into the soil. These nutrients are again absorbed by the plants. The nutrients which are absorbed by the soil organisms, they release back to the soil, so that the soil provides that nutrients to the plants growing. Then the role of the decomposing organisms or soil organism is the connection between the energy or nutrients transition for the plants from the soil. They enhance the nutrients in the soil. Since only a few centimeters of the top layer of the soil supports plant growth, turning and loosening the soil brings the nutrient rich to the top so that plants can use these nutrients. Turning helps in softening the top layer of the soil. Thus, turning and loosening of the soil is very important for cultivation of crops. The process of loosening and turning of the soil is called tilling or plowing. Please underline that. That's very important definition asked for 1 or 2 marks. The process is called tilling or plowing. This is done by using a plow. That's a tool. If you remember, I showed the image in the previous minutes back. Plow are made up of wood or iron, usually wood. If the soil is very dry, it may need watering before plowing. Watering is used for softening the soil. The plowed field may have big clumps of soil called crumbs. Crumbs is nothing but a bunch of soil. They made themselves a group. It is necessary to break these crumbs. Leveling the field is beneficial for sowing as well as for irrigation. We should break the crumbs into pieces, so making the leveling is essential for growing crops in a good manner and also for irrigation. Irrigation is the process of watering the plants. Leveling of soil is done with the help of leveler. That's a tool. Sometimes manure is added to the soil before tilting. Manure, which provides nutrition to the soil, is also added. This helps in proper mixing of manure with soil. Helps in mixing, proper distribution. The soil is moistened before sowing. Moistened with the help of water. Agricultural implements. Before sowing the seeds, it is necessary to break the soil clumps to get better yield. That is discussed in the above lines. Why it's necessary? Because of leveling. Because to level the ground. This is done with the help of various tools. The main tool used for this purpose are the plow, hoe and cultivator. The plow. This is being used since ancient times for tilling the soil, adding fertilizers to the crops, removing the weeds and turning the soil. Please take this note. Highlight the points. This is being used. Plowing is used for tilling, in the sense loosening the soil as well as adding fertilizers, manure to the crops, and also removing the weeds. Weeds are the unwanted crops that is not required for the farmer but grown between the crops. The growth is because of the soil is nutritious. The farmer adds minerals, fertilizers to make the field nutritious, so the plant in the top layer also gets good nutrition, so it grows, but that is not required for the farmer. This is made up of wood and is drawn by the pair of bulls or other animals like horses and camels. The plow is made up of wood drawn by bulls. It contains a strong triangular iron tip called plowshare. Strong iron tip. Iron helps in digging. Iron is harder than wood. It helps in digging, so it's used in the end tip. The main part of the plow is a long log of wood, which is called shaft. Plow shaft. Shaft is nothing but a long connection. Whether it's, in this case it's wood, and shaft is regularly called for a connection, long straight connection. There is a handle at one end of the shaft. The other end is attached to the beam which is placed on the bull's neck. One pair of bulls and a man can easily operate the plow. Let's see the image. given. See, you can see this beam on the bull's neck, and this is the plow shaft, connection link between the plowshare and the beam, and this is what the plowshare. You can see them because of the difference in color. Yeah, then let's come here. See, you can see here plow shaft, plowshare, and let me show you iron tip. It's also visible. Iron tip, can you see the iron tip, the iron round tip? Yeah, let's go further. Oh, sorry. After plow, the indigenous wooden plow is increasingly being replaced by iron plows nowadays. Iron is available in a good manner, and also it's strong in digging, hence it's replaced. Oh, it's a simple tool which is used for removing weeds. As I told, weeds is not essential, and for loosening the soil. Hoe is used to remove weeds. It has a long rod of wood or iron. A strong, broad, bent plate of iron is fixed to the one of its end and works like a blade. It is pulled by animals. You can see. Let me show you. This is the bent plate made up of iron. See the beam or rod here, handle or grip. Here the farmers holds the handle and the beam behind and fetch the ground with the help of bent plate. Next tool is cultivator. Nowadays, plowing is done by tractor-driven cultivator. The use of cultivator saves labor and time. This is nothing but the same plow which is driven by cultivator. See, you can see the same plow here, but the only thing is this is driven by cultivator, tractor, not the bulls or camels or horses. Yeah, let's stop the session for the day. Sewing is continued in the next session. Please make sure you are highlighting all the points which I made here, like this manual, crumbs or plow shafts. This helps in fetching your marks. This helps you to glance the whole chapter within a small time. You can remember whole chapter with these points, and these keywords are important in you while writing your definitions. If possible, I will share this highlighted points in the end video of this lesson, and let's see the sewing by the coming class. Thank you. Thanks for watching.